Hey, this is Bill Steffen. Thanks so much for spending a couple of minutes of your time in my little corner of the internet here. We'll start out with something kind of interesting. Temperatures at 3 o'clock today compared to yesterday. This is 3 o'clock Tuesday temperatures. At Holland State Park on Monday at 3 o'clock, the wind was coming off the cold water and the temperature was 49 degrees. Now on Tuesday, the wind was out of the east. It was coming off the land and the temperature was 73. That's a 24-degree difference, and that was not because of a change of air mass. That was because of the fact that the wind changed direction and was not coming in off the lake. Now in Grand Rapids, at 3 o'clock Monday, it was 69, and at 3 o'clock Tuesday, it was 73. So the difference there was only 4 degrees, while the difference there at the lakeshore, Howland State Park, was 24 degrees. So the lake's certainly making a big difference. Well, let's move on and take a look at our lake forecast and everything here for the day tomorrow. Winds will be out of the east-northeast again, so temperatures will be about the same inland as they will be at the lake. But keep in mind that with the clouds and a scattered shower or two, it won't be raining all the time by any means, but a scattered shower or two, it will be a bit cooler. Temperatures ought to be in the low to mid 60s here during a good portion of the day. And because we have an offshore wind blowing from the land out over the water, the waves will be knocked down to 6 inches to 2 feet, probably closer to the 6 inches if you're right close to shore. As you were to go across the lake to Milwaukee, they would have waves there around 2 to 4 feet. So as the air crosses Lake Michigan there, it would kick itself up a little bit. Okay, some more interesting information for you. Headlines here. There'll be a chance of showers today, Wednesday. It'll probably be dry on Thursday, though I can't rule out a shower, especially during the early morning, but most of the day looks okay. It should be okay for the softball leagues and the golf leagues in the evening. There's a chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Friday, not a sure thing. By the way, the chance of any one spot getting rain today is not 100%. It's probably about 70 to 80%. That's a pretty high probability. Friday, we're back down to around 30, 40%, and we're basically headed toward a dry weekend here, and that should be good here in West Michigan. And next week, we warm up. I'll talk about that here in just a second. But at this point in time, it's time to thank our sponsors, and here's Michelle.
And we're so grateful for our Bill Steffen Weather sponsors, Complete Care Concierge, LLC. They've got you covered. They are the fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service serving all of West Michigan. They clean homes, apartments, condominiums, rentals, office buildings, workspaces. They do one-time cleans. They can clean on a repeated basis, whatever you need. They even clean on the weekends. 616-264-1397. We'll put the number in the show comments. And here's a word from our other sponsor.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Well, thank you, Ace. 66-hour rainfall looks like this. A continued wet pattern across the Gulf. Wow, from Texas all the way up the East Coast there, going toward Maryland and Virginia. Some places there picking up over the next 3 days, another inch to 2 inches of rain. And an area back across Kansas and in northern Oklahoma also picking up some rain. The desert Southwest remains on the warm side and rather dry, but much of the rest of the country should see some rain. The UP looks pretty dry. If you want to head up there for the next several days, temperatures could actually be a couple degrees warmer in the UP than they will be down here in lower Michigan, where we will have more clouds and a few scattered showers. Speaking of Michigan, here's a look at how it looks here, and you can see that by the shades of green, a little bit darker green there west of Chicago, where there should be a little bit more in the way of rain. And as you head up toward the north here, you can see we get to those lighter shades, which is just 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. But the showers will be scattered, and most of them will be coming here during the day tomorrow, though again, much of the day it will not be raining. Taking a look at severe weather probabilities across the country, we got 2 slight risk areas. That's level 2. One is in the panhandle areas of Texas and Oklahoma, with small parts of Kansas, Colorado, and New Mexico. And then another area out in West Texas coming down into the Big Bend area, where they should see some gusty winds. The marginal or level 1 outlook runs from eastern New Mexico all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, Once again, Michigan stays out of the thunderstorm threat here. And we'll move on again and talk about the next day, and probably about the same deal here. As you can see, the level 1 risk runs from New Mexico to the East Coast, and nothing here for Michigan. So rather calm forecast for the Great Lakes here, with very little in the way of thunderstorm activity. All right, look at sunrise and sunset. We're approaching the longest days of the year, which occur in June, right around the solstice. Today, the sunrise at 6:08, the sunset at 9:11. We, by the way, had 11 days in a row with cooler than average temperatures, and the month of May so far, 1.8 degrees cooler than average. We've gotten through without any real hard frost across the area, so conditions out on the farm looking pretty good at this time. Hopefully it will stay that way. Okay, taking a look at the forecast for today, 65 degrees, the high temperature. So you might want to think about a light jacket. It'll be 50s here to start the day, and there will be a chance of showers during the day. Like I said, the chance about 80% that you'll catch at least one shower, but a good portion of the day it won't be raining. Humidity level up to about 70%, or down to about 70% here during the day. Winds be out of the east, which means no lake breeze. Temperatures right at the lake ought to be in the mid 60s, just like they will be inland. Taking a look at high temperatures here for the next couple of days. This Wednesday, 65 degrees. The computer is trying to keep it a touch cooler at South Haven. I don't know whether the breeze can overcome that or not. I would suspect that high temperatures will probably be in the low to mid 60s even at the lake, but you can see how it gets colder when you go out over the open water. Mid-Lake Buoy out there, high temperature at 53, and that's probably about right. It's actually going to be warmer as you go north. While we're 65 in Grand Rapids, 63 in Three Rivers to the south, 71 for Gaylord and Traverse City, and some mild air up in the UP as well. We move ahead to Thursday, and you'll be able to see that the UP really starting to warm up there. Temperatures up into the mid to even upper 70s there around Iron Mountain, Iron River, 72 for Houghton. Down here in the lower peninsula, we're upper 60s to around 70 here in Grand Rapids, and it will be a touch cooler near the lake, but only a touch. Taking a look at the long-range outlook as we head out all the way through the weekend, look for a chance of showers today in about 65. Upper 60s on Thursday. I can't rule out a sprinkle of rain early in the morning, but most of the day looks like it's going to be dry. An isolated shower, thunder shower on Friday, and then I think we're dry here Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures here, 60s Friday, we could reach mid-70s here, and maybe mid-70s by Sunday. Next week, it's going to warm up. I'll guarantee at least a couple of days in the 80s here next week as we head into the first week of June. The long-range outlook does give us above-average temperatures here for the Great Lakes and Northeast. This is a progressive pattern, so I would expect that near normal that's out in the Dakotas to kind of work its way to the east here with time. But we'll get 2, maybe 3 days next week with temperatures probably in the 80s. Stays warm and muggy throughout the south, cooler than average temperatures in the Rockies, where some of the really high mountains will probably still be seeing some snow showers. And in terms of precipitation, rainfall amounts across the area over the 8 to 14 day period, a little bit above average here. Now, this time of year, above average means it rains a little bit more over a short period of time. It doesn't mean like you're going to have an all-day rain or something like that. It usually means you get a 3/4 of an inch of rain from a thunderstorm instead of half an inch of rain from a thunderstorm. So all in all, this is a pretty good pattern for everybody. Later on today, beware of the fact that we'll catch perhaps a shower or two, maybe even an isolated rumble of thunder. Michelle, what you got for me? These are all new slides to me. I haven't seen any of these before, so surprise me.
High school MHSAA sports playoffs are about to happen. Girls tennis looks like it's soon to be up the 30th and 31st. And this list might not be accurate, but this was the best I could tell. These are teams that either won or got runner-up in their regionals, and they're on their way to their state finals. So
that's a lot of teams.
Yes, and we wish them all the best.
Yes, we do. And my wife, Gail, does like to watch tennis on TV. So she's up on that more than I am.
And there's a lot of other sports yet to come in the next week and a half. So It'll be exciting times. National Hamburger Day.
There's a National Everything Day, isn't there? There's a natural, salute Dandelion Day and whatnot.
Yes,
how many hamburgers does the average American eat per week?
So I think the number that they give is pretty high, but this is
Okay,
what
yeah, it's
PBS
probably put
reported
up by
in
the National
2012.
Hamburger Federation or something, which has probably spent money lobbying Congress to spend their time coming up with National Hamburger Day. That's a very nice looking hamburger there, by the way. I don't know what hamburger that was. It's got the sesame seeds on top and the piece of cheese there.
According
Okay.
to Wikimedia Commons, it's a Big Mac from Japan.
Oh, it is a Big Mac from Japan, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess it kind of looks like a Big Mac here.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of neat. All right. How many hamburgers does the average American eat per week? I don't think it would be more than 3.
Look at
Well,
you.
look at that. Wow.
I think it's a little bit high. I think maybe
To be honest, I
in the
didn't see
last
the answer ahead of time.
13 years, maybe we've diversified our diet a little bit more in the U.S., but that's what they said, 3.
Do people eat more burgers in the summer than the winter, I would think? Maybe a touch more.
It's good winter food too, though.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife makes a great hamburger, and we have them, I don't know, once a week, twice a week, maybe during the summer, maybe once a week in the winter. Neat.
On May 28, 1918, this country declared independence from the Russian Empire. The capital is Baku, not sure if I'm saying that right, the largest city on the Caspian Sea. By land, it borders Armenia, Georgia, Russia, Iran, and Turkey.
Wow. Okay, and is that is the symbol there the outline of the country?
It is, and the
With the
flag as
Caspian
well.
Sea coming down at the end there. Boy, I should know this. All right, let's dissect this a little bit. May 28th, 1918. So this is right after World War I. So while everybody was busy messing with Europe, this country decides we're free, go away. And from the Russian Empire, okay, capital is Baku, the largest city on the, let's see, what would we guess? Is it one of the stands or is it Azerbaijan?
Close. Azerbaijan, yeah, there you go.
Azerbaijan, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, it goes back to 1918, so that goes back a ways.
Okay, a little further, 1968, MLB's American League split into the Eastern and Western divisions. In 1994, the Central divisions were formed, and today the American League and National League both have East, Central, and West divisions.
You know, everybody's consolidating right now. This is pretty amazing. I mean, the Big Ten is what, like the Big 18 now.
Mm-hmm.
The SEC is huge. The Pac-10, the Pac-10 disappeared. I think Oregon State and Washington State are the only 2 teams left. You know, it could play each other every weekend. Why not? You know, wow. I see Javi Baez there. How many MLB teams are there today? I will guess 32.
Oh, you should have stopped at 30. That was really good, though.
Oh, okay. 30. I was going to guess 30.
So comment your favorite team in the comments. Let's keep going. What state has the most MLB teams?
California or Texas? Let's go with California. Yes, indeed.
And there they all are.
The Giants, the Athletics, who are not moving to Oakland. They're not moving to Las Vegas. That's the Raiders football. LA Dodgers used to be in New York, the Angels, and the San Diego Padres. I saw a Padres game once.
Which means if there's 30 and they've got 5, that means there's a lot of states that don't have any.
Yes, that's true. You know, you won't find one in Alaska. That would make for kind of a long commute.
When did you see a Padres game?
I saw a Padres game. I would go to Craig James and I used to split going to the AMS broadcasters conventions. He'd go one year and then I'd go to the other year, which was really nice of him to let me do that. But we had one in San Diego. And while a lot of people, you know, or some people would tend to, you know, go out to the bars or something like that and schmooze and whatnot, I really wanted to go see a baseball game. And sometimes I would go out there with my wife. Did you ever come with me to a conference?
Yeah, a couple of them. When we were really little, we'd drive to wherever it was and then use the pool for the week while you were at the conference.
I mean, you went to Colorado because that was when I walked up the mountain with Marie and we got chased down by the storms. Yeah, we went to San Diego, and it was a beautiful night. There was hardly any wind. The temperature was in the 70s. It was comfortable. And I even forget who won. I forget who the Padres are playing, but we really enjoyed ourselves. We would, you know, we went. Did you go to? You went to the Twins game, right? That I caught the T-shirt.
I was in college, so that was
catch of my life, and nobody was there to see it. That was fun. But yeah, 5 teams in California, neat. And Texas has what? 2 or 3. Has the Rangers, the Houston, the Astros. Wow. All right. Oh, the Cubs. Yippee. Chicago.
Oh, this is a fun one. So the Chicago Cubs started in 1870, but they weren't the Cubs. They were called this until 1903. Long story short, the White Sox ended up stealing that name, and they were called this until the press later shortened it to the White Sox.
No kidding. May 28, 1968, the Chicago Cubs got their start in 1870. Let's see, there was the Green Bay Packers, the Chicago Bears, and the Cubs tie in with the Bears because they're the baby Bears. Long story short, the White Sox ended up stealing the name. So were they the White Sox? That doesn't make any sense.
Sort of. They were the White somethings.
The White Stockings? Ah, yes, indeed.
There you go.
Way in the corner of my brain.
Very good.
That was back there somewhere. I had to kind of dust it off.
That was impressive because they wore white uniforms with long socks.
Yeah, neat. And everything was so different back then. I had an uncle that played single A pro baseball.
No kidding.
I think I remembered that he they didn't get paid, but they could pass a hat through the crowd, and people would stick like a quarter in or something like that, and they would use that to pay the players.
Was that one of Grandpa's brothers?
Yes, I was his oldest brother. My dad was born in 1913, so that would be my Uncle George, who would have been born probably in the 1890s, maybe.
How many kids were there?
There were 8 kids spread out over 20 years.
And
George
researching the ancestry, they ran out of names and they started using first names they'd already used as people's middle names.
Well, what was somebody like Solomon do or something like that? I mean, he had all these concubines and everything else like that. Didn't the king and I the king and I have I don't know.
Well, when I was in the King and I was princess number 13, so they didn't even bother naming us.
Princess number 13.
Okay, May 28, 1912, the Titanic final report released. And why are we talking about that? Because the senator that chaired the public inquiry was Senator William Smith of Grand Rapids.
Oh, no kidding.
And he became quite prominent nationwide because of his role in that inquiry. He was born in Cass County, moved to Grand Rapids as a teenager, and owned the press. If I remember correctly, the Grand Rapids Herald. He owned that.
Yeah, Herald paper.
The hearings were at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City. And ironically, John Jacob Astor, yes, related to the Waldorf Astoria, died on the Titanic.
Wow, yeah, that was pretty sad. And of course, I mentioned before, I think that we have silverware from the Titanic. I mean, not the actual silverware, but identical silverware to the Titanic.
Do you recall where we got it?
The Grand Rapids Public Museum.
Very good. Yes, they had a Titanic exhibit.
Hubby had a hand in that, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and it was interesting. So
lots of cool photos today. This one is the skyline of Milwaukee from West Olive.
Yes, and this is a mirage. This is a true mirage. You think of mirages as being in the desert, but this is a mirage that occurs on the Great Lakes, and this occurs when we have cold water. So it usually occurs anywhere from mid to late April through the month of May into very early June. And there's cold water there, and the light from Milwaukee actually bends in a circle instead of going straight off in a straight line, which would take it well above, it would be, miles and miles up into the air where that light would be. What it does is it bends that and around the that cold air layer there, and we get to see that. So once in a great while that happens, and I understand that there were a number of people that took pictures of this. So it's interesting. This picture, let me read what you got here. It's a picture of the skyline at Milwaukee Monday night at 11:30. Okay, with binoculars, you could see office floors. Really? Holy cow, that's pretty amazing. Tom, thanks for sending this along. I'm looking west from West Olive. People don't believe you when you're told of the event. Yeah, this happens. Usually on clear, cool, windless nights in the spring. Yeah, and the spring is when you normally see this, and May is the #1 month for this. But you have to have cold water and a cold layer of air, what we call a marine layer, right over the water, and then warmer air aloft up above. So very, very cool picture. Wow, neat.
And Dave Verhoeven, Lake Michigami from Van Riper State Park.
And I have been up there before. I have seen that lake before, and I saw a beautiful sunset like that before. So that's a really cool place to be. Good fishing in that lake, from what I'm told. So, Dave, thanks for the pick.
So that got me wondering where that was. So here it is on the map.
Yep. There are quite a few places in the UP, including Michigami, that do report snow totals during the wintertime. And we appreciate all those people that do that.
So definitely a place to put on your bucket list. And it looks like they've got a lot of stuff there. There's campgrounds, a boat launch, trails.
1,100 acres, that's a big park.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be what, 3 times the size of a standard golf course, 3 times the size of a standard golf course. So interesting.
Well, thanks, Dave, for the photo.
Yeah.
And then here's Benzonia.
Yes, indeed. And again, another great picture where we have a couple of different layers of clouds. The sun is in the upper left, shining through what looks like some cirrocumulus clouds. And we got some lower Q on the bottom. And of course, the color variation from bright white, where the sun is shining through the clouds, ice crystals up there are the higher clouds, and the dark gray clouds, where the sun is not penetrating very much through the cumulus clouds there. So interesting.
And the sunrise in Muskegon.
Sunrise. I'm almost up late enough to see a sunrise this time of year, so it's interesting. We have long twilights. You can go out now at 5 o'clock in the morning, especially if you're north of Grand Rapids, and see a smidgen of twilight, even at 5 o'clock in the morning. But another great picture, they have those ramps out there. This is a picture of one of those ramps coming out of the bottom center, where you can go out there in a wheelchair or and get out there and actually get out in the sand and everything else like that. So that's kind of neat. We used that for Grandpa Yankee when he came up here. We used one of those ramps. It's really nice to have. Well, it's time to wrap things up here. I want to wish everybody an awesome day today. It's the middle of the week. We got a lot going on. Beware of the fact we could catch a shower. Probably won't be an all-day rain, and most of Thursday will turn out to be dry. Temperatures a touch on the cool side today in the mid-60s, but keep in mind we got a couple of days at least in the 80s coming for next week. Summer is on the way. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks again for staying with us till the end.